Welcome back to my channel. Um, Today I know it's a different scenery, but today I want to discuss something just really quick. Um, the first thing I want to touch on is I understand people who I feel like as I get older and as I'm becoming more wiser, I'm starting to realize certain things. And I also noticed that as I'm getting older, people are checking for my pockets, which is very confusing to me because as you get older, you'll incur a lot. If you don't know this, if I have like younger people watching, you're going to incur a lot of expenses as you get older, especially if you choose to have a family, like get married and have kids. And so when it comes to children's education and their health and their well-being and passing them down, wealth and things like that, there's a lot of expenses that take place. And of course, you are not obligated to explain that to people. What I've realized is as you get older, you have to be careful about who you surround yourself with because let's be real. People are, when they go through certain things in their life, they get excited. And sometimes they like to celebrate those successes and discuss them with people without feeling like someone's clocking their pockets, right? And sometimes you'll have plans for your money, right? So that you can elevate your life and your lifestyle. Now, when you hit the age between 30 and 40, you're already thinking about retirement. And for a lot of people, that's too old. Some people start in their 20s, but let's be realistic. A lot of people in their 20s are just getting themselves together. I'm still in my 20s, and I still feel like I'm kind of getting myself together. And so you want to be like, essentially, your goal as a person sometimes could be, hey, well, my goal is that by the age of 40, I kind of want to be in that state where I'm just saving for retirement. I don't want to be in a state where I have any debt. I don't want to be in a state where I'm struggling. I don't want to be in a state where I'm trying to figure it out because by the 40 and 50 goes by very quick, right? And then the next thing you know, you're looking up and it's time to retire and you have nothing. And so when children are involved, you usually want to pass something down to them. You usually want to have some sustainable income. You don't want to be in a lot of debt. You want to have your options open and you want your family to be happy. And someone said this a while ago and it really made me cringe. And it's this one line that says, I know you have it. And so when someone asks you for money, regardless of whether they're paying you back or not, the people who say, I know you have it, are usually the people who are trying to clock your pockets but have no idea exactly what's going on. And it's fun. I find it kind of strange that these same people clock your pockets with money coming in, but they don't clock your pockets with money going out. And they make very large assumptions on what your financial situation is instead of worrying about their financial situation. And people often feel entitled to you taking care of them just because you're in a certain how can I say it? You're in a certain position and they feel as though they're entitled to whatever you've worked hard for, whatever goals that you have, whatever type of things that you got going on, they feel entitled to that. And often when people ask me for money, I'll say, I have kids, I have financial obligations. And they'll respond like, I know you have it. And I don't know what that means. Because if it costs us almost $32 million to retire by the age of 40 or 50 or 60, if I do the calculations, we are a family of four. If I do the calculations, I know how much money I need to retire in order to be comfortable. And honestly, I don't feel like people think about that, especially when you're getting up in age. You start to get closer to that time frame as to when you're expiring to that time frame that's going to expire as to when you're supposed to be comfortable, right? And you spend most of your life being an adult, which means you have over 40 years of adult time to save up that money so that you don't have to bust your behind, at 60, 70 years old. You can kind of just sit back, enjoy your life, enjoy your grandkids, and, watch your children become successful. Or if you don't have any children, just travel, have fun, be at peace. It's kind of that time where you want to slow down. Not saying that you're old at that age and you don't know what to do with yourself and blah blah blah, but you don't want to bust your behind like you 20 anymore. Like, you kind of just want to fall back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And people who don't understand that, people who are in survival mode all the time, people who live check to check, people who don't understand finances, they don't understand that at some point, this hoorah, this roundabout, it has to end at some point. You can't continue to stay in this state where you're consistently asking people for money, you're consistently becoming a burden to other people, and then you turn around and say something as disrespectful as, "I know you have it." And I've never really realized how insulting it is, but at the same time, you have to understand, anybody who says, "I know you have it," has ignorance. Because if you have any debt and you don't have any net worth, you don't have it. You really don't have it. And any money that you're giving anybody, regardless of whether it's $1 to $1,000,000, if you don't have a net worth, you don't have it. If you have debt, you don't have it. I have all types of debt, right? And usually when people ask me for money, I'll ask them if they can pay one of my debts off, because you are now becoming a debt. And even though you can write off charitable contributions, every year, it only goes up for cash. It only goes up to about $500, and it changes every year for taxes. And so you're not really giving out that much money. And plus, with itemized deductions, if you haven't spent a lot in taxes, interest, and in contributions, then you're not really using itemized deduction most of the time. So it just doesn't make sense to just keep giving out money, right? So honestly, if you're not really like making a lot of money, like you're not like a 8-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure seven, 8, let's put 8. If you're not really an 8-figure person, you can't afford to pay for other people's failures and mistakes and drawbacks. And I do understand that people go through things, and this is why it's important that you don't give out money to family and friends. The reason why you don't give out money to family and friends is because you fall on hard times. And when you fall on hard times, there is a very slim list of people who will actually help you in those hard times. And again, you should never rely on other people to take care of you when you fall on hard times. If you lose your job tomorrow, if you buckle on your business tomorrow and it flips to a very bad circumstance, and a lot of people have seen this during the pandemic, you have to sit back and say to yourself, okay, how am I going to be able to sustain, a comfortable lifestyle or sustain a bare minimum lifestyle after I lost my job? And where I used to work at, people used to call all the time, like, "I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my car. I need this refund." But it should never be that. You understand what I'm saying? You should never have to rely on a federal tax refund. You should never have to rely on family members. You should never have to rely on anyone else to take care of your current situation as an adult when you go through things, especially when you get into the 30s and 40s. When you're 30, 40 years old, you should not be calling around asking people for money to take care of your regular finances. If you can't afford a certain type of lifestyle, don't try. It's just that simple. And the same people that say they want to live in California, the same people who say they want to live in Manhattan, New York City, or the same people who say they want a condo and a nice little a mansion and an apartment in the skies, are the same people who ask people for money. And if you can't afford that type of lifestyle, don't do it. This is the reason why they ask you for financial statements when you're buying a house or when you're renting a place, is because they want to be able to determine whether or not you have the ability to repay. If you cannot afford to repay or pay down whatever it is that you're taking into, whether it be rent or mortgage, stop doing it. Because it becomes a burden on everyone around you, and you assume that people have to take care of you just because you chose to live in those circumstances. People like us, people who are financially responsible, who choose not to get $500, $600, $700 weaves when they don't have it. People who choose not to get their nails, pay $500, $600 to get their nails done, or don't get their nails done at all. I go months without getting my nails done. I go months without a retwist. I could. You sit down and you think about your what's going out, the money that's going out, and you make sacrifices in order to be where you want. And if everybody is not on that same time frame, you don't owe nobody shit. That simple. If you're sitting down and you're saying this is what needs to be done, and you write out your financial plan, and you have a family, and you say, I want my child to have the best education, I want to be able to retire by this age, I want to not have any debt, I want to have a net worth, I want to be able to start traveling by this age, you have to start making sacrifices. You can't buy expensive cars. You can't buy expensive weave and nails and getting your nails done every 2 weeks. If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. I don't care if you're a male, if you're a female, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. When you get to a point in your life where you know there's somebody in your mind that can give you money whenever you fuck up, the problem is you become reliant on that person, whether it be the government or whether it be your friend, whether it be a family member, you become reliant. And every time something happens, you know what you think in your mind? Oh, I know somebody who can pay for that. That is a problem. You are an adult. You don't know nobody who could pay for that. You know yourself who can pay for that, right? Because if I have to continuously pay for life insurance so that whenever I pass or whenever my spouse pass, we could be able to have the funds to take care of our children and take care of all our financial affairs, we can't afford to pay for somebody else. We can't afford to give money to nobody else for any reason whatsoever. Anything that I've ever given to anybody is money that I'm willing to lose, because you can't. But for people who are not financially secure, will ask you for money. Have I ever asked for money before? Yes, especially in my 20s. Will I ever do it again? No, because what you don't understand is when you're asking people for money, you're asking someone else who has financial obligations to take care of you. You are now a dependent at this point. You don't even know it. And even if you say you're paying someone back, that's a problem. Because you saying you pay somebody back, there's no contract in place, right? There's no time frame that's set up for that. You're relying on trust that somebody will give you that money back. And if they don't, you can't get mad because you gave them money that you knew you didn't have. Stop giving people money you don't have. Stop it. You don't have a net worth, you don't have it, period. If you are trying, you got goals, you have aspirations, you have things that needs to be done, don't feel bad for telling someone no. I don't. I used to say, if I have it, I'll give it. I don't care, but I just don't have it. And as long as I'm in debt and I don't have a net worth, I won't have it. And that should be for anybody. And honestly, when you have businesses and things like that, you'll always have some type of debt. You see what I'm saying? So I don't mean it in that way, but sometimes your income can exceed your debt. And that's when you are in the positive. But if you're negative, like if you're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 a year, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, say you're a doctor and you're making like $300,000 a year. If your debt is up to $1 million, then you're negative $600,000. But if you have debt that's $1 million and you make 28 million, you know what I'm saying? Your profit is 27 million. That's your net worth. And so if I don't have any net worth and I have more debt than what I'm making, I can't give you shit. I don't care how you feel about it. And so when somebody asks me for money and then they say, oh, I know you have it, then I'll say, okay, do you have, I'll give them the number of the amount of debt that I'm in. And they'll say, oh, well, I don't have that. Then leave me alone. Whether I always have the debt, whether I take it with me to my grave, it doesn't matter what I choose to do with my finances. That's none of your business. And the problem is when people start to seep into your life and they want to understand what's going on with your finances, but they don't know shit. They don't want to know shit. They don't care about the money that's going out. They only care about the money that's coming in. You can't play their game. I'm sorry. I can't understand why someone would assume that I make money, but don't assume that I pay for anything. I guess I'm just sitting around, living life for free. No debt collectors, nobody asking for credit card money and things like that are knocking at my door. I'm just sitting here, not paying rent, not paying taxes, not paying debt, not paying interest. I'm just not paying for anything. And I'm just waiting for you to pick up the phone and call me so I could just give you the money that's just sitting in my lap that I didn't work hard for, that I don't have financial obligations for. I'm waiting for you. You are my only financial obligation. That's exactly how it sounds. And so now you see why it's rude to ask people for money, period. If I'm not offering you money, or if I don't say, when it comes to money, if you need anything, holla at me, don't call me. Don't ask me for money. Even if I have it, if I'm not offering it and I'm not putting it on the table, I don't have to give you shit. Because honestly, you work hard for your money. That's why I think it's rude that people ask for money. That's why I don't ask anybody for money. I don't. I ask people for time, like, can you come and visit the kids? Or, I haven't seen you in a while. You don't invite me nowhere. Relationship things, time. But money, no. It's a very hard economy. 99% of the people who live in this economy are not thriving the way they want to thrive. A lot of people can't retire. Does it really make sense that I take care of somebody when I'm not really sure if I'm going to retire yet? No. And if I'm retired, can I afford to pay for you? No. Because you calculate your expenses, right? And when you calculate your expenses, you know how much money you need to retire. Now, if I got more money than what I need to retire, then yes, I'll give you some money. I don't care, right? But if I have just enough or I have a roundabout amount, I can't. Call me a B, call me rude, call me whatever, but I'm just not giving you something I just don't have. And if you choose to go to the Louis Vuitton store, you choose to get a new Apple phone, you choose to buy a Tesla or a Lamborghini truck, you choose to buy a mansion or live in the hills or buy a condo or get a high-rise apartment or do all these other things, that is your choice. You're a woman, you're a grown woman, you're a grown man. That is a decision that you make. You want to buy new sneakers, you want to go here, go there. Ain't nobody knocking you. That is you. You're your own person. That's your life. Nobody's judging you. That's what you want to do. And I will support you every step of the way. But the moment you come out your mouth and ask me for anything, don't ask me for nothing. I don't have name brand sneakers. I buy my sneakers from Walmart. I get my hair done once every 2-3 months, and I just get a retwist, which is like $50 to $75. I don't get any special styles, anything. Just get a regular retwist. When I get my nails done, plain. And this happens what? The people at the nail tech see me what? Once every 3, 4, 6 months? I only go for a special occasion. So most of the time, my nails are bare. Most of the time. Only 10 to 25% of the time are my nails done. Guess what? I bought a polygel kit just to do my own nails. So if I really want to treat myself and go out and get my nails done, it's because I choose to. But I do it at home. I learned how to do my own hair. I do my own retwist. I didn't pay nobody to do this. I did this. I learned how to do my own hair. When I was a teenager, I learned how to make my own clothes because I got tired of going to stores and not seeing the styles that I liked. And as I got older, I've realized that I don't need all these nice fancy things to be happy. It's about what's in you. And some people, they find happiness through fashion and creativity and things like that. And those are those people. I don't find happiness through that because at this moment, at my age, it seems like the biggest issue in America is money. And if you don't have it, you're pretty much fucked. So why spend money on things that I don't need? Literally. I'll go to Lowe's or Home Depot and drop cash. But what is that for? Oh, that's for a garden so that I can grow my own food so I don't have to go food shopping anymore. You got to put in the work. You don't want to pay for these expenses, you got to put in the work. You save up for solar panels and put them on your roof if you don't want to pay for electric. And make and convert all your everything in your house to electric from gas to electric if you really don't want to pay for a lot of things. If it's legal in your state, you do well. You collect rainwater. So you don't have to pay for water. You build you a filtration system. Use that. People want a convenient life. That's nice, but a convenient life comes with a price tag. Looking nice and smelling nice and being nice all the time comes with a price tag. I learned how to make soap. I learned how to make lotion. I learned how to grow food. I learned how to harvest food. Right now, I'm teaching myself how to take care of chickens because I can't afford to pay for chicken. I can't afford to pay for eggs. But if you can afford that and you can afford that lifestyle, and having a brand new, big, nice home is more important than having a whole lot of land to grow food and raise cattle on, that is your lifestyle. But don't look to nobody else to pay for that though, because you know how much, you know that lifestyle comes with a price tag. And if you don't know that and you're making decisions like that, maybe you need to take a step back and figure out what's going on with your life. But don't put the burden on no one else, because no one else sat down and said, oh, I want this expensive lifestyle. I know I didn't. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, because it's just something that bothered me. And this channel's called Let's Talk About It. So I'm going to talk about it. So thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. You can send me emails and stuff like that if you want me to talk about a certain topic. But usually I'm going to come on here and talk about something I'm passionate about, because that's all I care about. Bye.